Hey everyone, welcome back to Adventure Tech Moto. Today we have something special for you all. We are going to look at the DMD Remote 1 handlebar controller. I've been really excited to get one of these to try out, and so we're going to do the install, some first impressions, and then we're going to go over kind of how it's integrated within the navigation apps such as DMD, Google Maps, some other ones too. So stick around and we'll get right to it. And also please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It would be very, very much appreciated. Also be sure to check out some of the recent stuff that we have done. I did a quick little 1-minute intro ground event video for March Moto Madness. That event is in Tellico Plains, Tennessee. It's going to be April 3rd through the 7th, and it's going to be a pretty big event, capped out at 800 riders. So look at that video. It's got a link to where to register. So stick around. Let's get to it. All right, so this is the box that the DMD comes with. We're gonna unpack this, show you what's in there, and then we're gonna head over to the bike, the 701 Enduro, and we are gonna go through and install this. So let's unpack this. That's it from there. This is for support, QR code for that. And that is all that's in the box. So, you know, there's no instruction manuals or anything. All that can be found online, especially going to the DMD support group on Facebook. Tons and tons of interaction in that. So, I mean, just first off, this is a very high quality. This looks like aluminum. You know, some of these are 3D printed plastic. I've heard of some of the other ones breaking. This definitely is not going to break. This is extremely high quality. Really nice joystick. Your two buttons. I believe this is an enter button, a back button, and then you have another toggle switch at the bottom. So this is all you get. Then you have your wires to wire this into your controller. So you have a ground, power, and then you have your two data cables. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to show you how to wire this in. It's going to be a little different on every bike, but we'll talk through a couple of the different scenarios. So let's head to the bike. All right, so we're in the garage and we are going to get to installing this remote. So what I need, now this is going to be different based on your motorcycle, but for mine, I've got to, this is on my 701. So I've got everything here I'm going to push down on my handlebar. So I have my controls, my cruise control, and then my clutch lever and where my mirror was mounted. And then I've also got my Britannia fairing. So I've got to remove this to get to my fuse block and wiring. And then also the wires for the mount. So first, we're gonna get the controller mounted and then we'll start with the wiring. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we gotta loosen everything up. So first we're gonna loosen this screw on my controllers. Just a Phillips head. Next up, I'm gonna loosen this bolt. This is a 8mm on the 701. Okay, so I got enough space here. I moved everything down a little tight. I did have to take my quad lock off. I'll have to see about putting that back on. It's pretty tight here, but I think we're good. So the first thing you want to do is loosen the two Allens. So this is a 3mm Allen, And the directions say to fully tighten the top down first, so we're going to do that. And then the bottom. Pretty tight. I'm going to come back because I'm going to want to probably adjust this, so I'm going to leave it a little bit loose for the moment, just to make sure I get my controls where I want them. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to route our cable. On my bike, I got to take the fairing off real fast. And then next up, we'll go ahead and wire these together. All right, so after a little bit of playing, this is kind of what I came up with. So I moved my grip just a little bit over, scooted everything. I was having trouble right here as my bar starts to bend, getting this right, because I have this cruise control. So obviously there's a lot of stuff on this bar now. So I think I got it where I need it. Again, I've got this loose right now, so I can kind of mess with that as far as placement. So next up, what I've done is I went ahead and removed my Britannia fairing, the front portion with the lights, which exposes all my wiring. So what you'll get with the DMD mounts is, and this looks a little messed up, I cut my zip ties. So this goes to your mount, which I have dangling over here. You've got two cables, two wires. So you got a white and a purple. These are data cables. With your DMD remote, you've got the white, which is power, the brown, so white power, brown is ground, yellow is going to your purple, green to white. And I'll put, so these are in the directions on the DMD website. So what we're going to do is splice these in to our wires. So I actually have all my stuff goes through a fuse block, relay, post ignition. So I'm going to tap into power here with the connector. I'm going to tap into my ground. All right, so what I'm using these quick connectors to tap into my current power and ground wires. So again, the white is power, brown is ground. This is going to vary based on your application. This is just how I have it set up. Again, do this post ignition. All right, so we're going to do green to white. This wire you're going to have to pull back. And do the same for the other. Next up, what we're going to do is I got the tablet on the mount, so we can go ahead and power this on. Turn my key. So when you power this on, you should get that green light blinking on your controller. Okay. All right, so next up what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do Bluetooth first. So going to go to my settings, connected devices, pair new device, go to DMD Remote 1, pair. So that's now paired. We can go into DMD app. We're going to go to our apps, go to your buttons icon, hit a button on your controller. So now the way I have it, you can have it set up to not use your cable connections. So your Bluetooth can be a backup, which is great. So if you were to lose your cable connection that we did, then Bluetooth would be available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and test my buttons via cable. Press any button to see output. So yep, A, B. So what we're doing is we're pressing, here's A, here's B, joystick up, joystick down, right, left, switch menus. Yep. So all of these are working, so that's awesome. And then supported apps is just going to go through. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and test DMD2, duh, yeah, of course. We're going to go through, I'm going to download some of these additional map apps and just show you how these work. I've used a couple of these. Obviously DMD is the one where I'm most curious about this working. Oops, go back here. So if we go to our map, oh yeah, look at that. So again, on the 701, we had to move everything over. I've got my cruise control, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna tidy all this up. We're gonna tighten this down, so anyone running MC Cruise, there's room, it's tight. As you can see, my clamp here starts to get to where the bar starts to angle down. So I wouldn't want to go much farther. So the one thing I'm going to have to figure out is my quad lock. I don't know. I got to find some of my other adapters for this. I don't know if it's going to fit. So that's the other thing I got to figure out there. And then wiring wise, again, making sure that we go white. So let me zoom in here. So we're doing white to power, brown to black, so that's your brown is your ground. Then you're doing yellow to purple, green to white. And this is your, again, this is from your tablet harness, your mount. That's where all those wires are coming from, into your wires for your remote. So again, I know this looks kind of messy, but it's actually a very simple install. It's going to vary based on your motorcycle. All right, so for you Husky guys, for wiring, so again, I got so much stuff in this bike, and I'll clean all this up, but this plate back here, behind this plate, is where your accessory wires are. So accessory 2 for switch power. I currently have my heated grips in my accessory. So this is the accessory 2 right here. This is what you'll see behind that plate. Okay. So you can tap right in to those on the Husky 701s. So someone asked about the 300L. So I believe on that bike you can remove the headlamp. You can get an aux cable, because all the newer bikes are usually pre-wired for accessories, and it's usually post-ignition. So you can get that and then wire in your power and ground just like I did. A lot of times people may tap into their headlight harness for power and ground because your headlight's post-ignition. So it's going to really vary based on your motorcycle. I'm just fortunate that kind of everything is behind my fairing. So it's real easy to tap into power and ground without having to do a whole lot. Just have to take my front plastics off where my headlights are. So fairly simple. For me, it's 4 bolts to get that off to do that. So this is episode 1. So this is just the basic installation. All the instructions are on the Drive Mode dashboard website. So we'll run through that. I'll add snippets of that instruction. But if you have just basic wiring skills, this is a fairly simple install. So otherwise, making sure, again, do your Bluetooth connection first. So as soon as it powers on, go in, like I showed you, go into your Bluetooth settings, add the remote,
and then go ahead and go into the buttons app on DMD2, test your buttons, make sure everything's functioning correctly, which ours is. And now it's time to test out some of the features of it. I hope this was helpful. Leave any comments or questions. Happy to help. Jump on the DMD board support forum. That's really, to be quite honest, that's probably the best place to go. And I'm on there quite a bit, so I'll try to answer questions as well. You know, again, there weren't many installation videos out there. Pretty much just understanding which wires go to what. That's the biggest thing. So hope that was good. So we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll begin testing this as much as I can to give my my input on how well it works. Because I've heard that once you go to a controller, you don't know how you live without it. So I guess we will find out.